Hello, everyone. I hope you've all had a great couple days at the online summit. We had 16 great sessions today and yesterday. We have had 200 people mark themselves as attending, but according to Google Analytics, we've had well over 1,000 unique visitors to summit.ubuntu.com over these past few days. So we've had a really good turnout. I want to thank everybody who's come and attended these sessions. Big thanks to everybody who asked questions and engaged the speakers. Thank you especially to the speakers themselves who ran the sessions. And then also, of course, thank you to all of the track leads who were here for the past 2 days nonstop, making sure that we were getting these sessions up and running. We had some problems with the Hangouts, especially early on, and they were there making sure that somebody was able to get all the settings configured properly and get the videos broadcast. So big thank you to all of you guys. I'm going to do a quick summary of some of the sessions that went on. So if you missed anything, you know what you missed, and you can go back and find it. Let me pull that doc up. All right, so we started out with a keynote from Gustavo, who's heading up the Snappy project here at Canonical. He went really through a lot of different things that are either in Snappy now or coming soon in Snappy. That's a very broad topic. He hit on things like assertions and hooks and declarations and all kinds of stuff. Gives a really good high-level overview of how Snappy works with all of its tools. So that really set the tone for the rest of these sessions, which were, there was a variety of things, but a lot of them were Snappy focused because that has been one of our major focuses here in Canonical for the past 6 months or so. There was a session on MySQL and MariaDB and the roadmap for both of those. There was discussions about the packages in both Debian and Ubuntu. They're both in really good health. The package maintainers have agreed on what the next major steps are for that, and how to have a really good user experience for people who are cross-grading from MySQL to MariaDB on a production install. Daniel Holbach walked us through creating your first snap. He ran it as a workshop where he showed you from scratch to getting it ready to put in the store, how to make a snap. If you are not familiar with snaps yet and you want a place to get started, this is a great session to go and watch. It doesn't go too heavy into detail, but it gives you everything that you need to get a solid footing that you can take from there and start building your own snaps. There was a session on MAS HTTP API. MAS is our Metal as a Service. It's a way to really easily deploy a private cloud on bare metal servers to get you up and going with OpenStack with the least amount of work. It has an HTTP API, and the session was about accessing that with Python to help orchestrate that. We had a Snap Roadmap Q&A where people got to come and ask what the plans were for snaps going forward. There was a lot of really good questions asked there. Michael Vogt was in there answering the questions. He's one of the lead developers for Snaps and Snapd. So a lot of things that weren't covered in either the keynote or the creating your first snap session were brought up and answered there. So if you want some more detail and some deeper level knowledge of snaps, that's the session you want to go and rewatch. Had a really fascinating session on a Git-based workflow for managing Ubuntu packages and patches, Ubuntu-specific patches that we apply on top of the Debian packages. We had Ian Jackson from Debian there who was talking to us about a tool called dgit that he's working on, and some of the Launchpad developers talked about a similar tool that they have called USD, both of which are used to manage Debian-style packaging with Git and using Git's workflow to improve the Debian package maintainer workflow and patches. Kind of high level, but a lot of really good information there. It sounds like a good path forward for the package maintainers. Then we had Sujivan, who's organizing the UbuCon Europe, which is happening this weekend, to talk about what the event's going to be like, how it's organized. We've been having regular calls with him to organize it, so we kind of use this as the last of our organizational calls for that before the actual event itself. So you can get kind of an inside look at how UbuCons are organized, the collaboration between community leaders who are running it and Canonical who's trying to support it as much as we can. So you can go back and watch that. Today we started off with Martin Pitt and the Ubuntu developers talking about Netplan, which is a way of unifying network configuration on Ubuntu, both in future versions of Ubuntu and also backporting to 16.04. There was a lot of discussion and Q&A there. It was very focused on implementation and how to do this properly. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go and watch that session. You'll learn quite a bit there. Following that, there was architectural discussions about whether or not to continue supporting PowerPC and i386 in CD images, the cost of those, the pros and cons of supporting it or dropping it, and the things that would need to be done in order to justify continued support for that. Then we had a session on Meetup.com. That was one of my sessions where I talked about why we're starting to use Meetup.com, how it relates to the existing Loco Team portal, and how teams can start using it to promote their events a little bit broader and to get more of an outside audience into their Ubuntu events. That also segged into kind of a broader topic on how to run Loco Team events, what kind of support Loco teams can get from Canonical or the community in running those events, both in terms of financial support and merchandise to give away or use for prizes or something like that. So that ended up becoming more of a broad how to run Loco Team events. If you are interested, go back and read that. If you're in a Loco team, I really encourage you to watch this and learn about how to use Meetup.com because it can really do good things to help you grow your team. During that same hour, Colin Watson was on talking about building snaps in Launchpad. This is something new that we're offering to make it easier for people who are starting to use snaps. It lets you easily import your code into Launchpad and set up recipes so that it'll build snaps automatically on new versions. It lets you build snaps for architectures that you don't have. So if you want to build like an ARM snap and you don't have a Raspberry Pi or something you can build that on, you can set it up in Launchpad to do that also. And then finally, we had a really great session with Harold Sitter and Scarlett Clark from the KDE project. They were talking about the work they've been doing recently about snapping KDE applications and the KDE frameworks itself. They're one of the first adopters of our new content sharing interface in Snappy, which lets them produce these kind of codependent snap packages that they both maintain. But that lets them create smaller application packages that rely on the larger KDE frameworks application. So he walked us through the Snapcraft configs for both the framework snap and the application snaps, how they work together, how he's integrated them into his CI process with Jenkins on the KDE Neon project so that those get built automatically. Showed some interesting tricks that he used to get the applications to build with a build dependency on the framework snap while still keeping them separate when it actually builds the snap itself. That was really insightful. I hadn't thought about doing it that way before, but he says it works really well for them, so that's cool. He ended up writing a snap for K-algebra from scratch, more or less. He copied some stuff, but more or less from scratch, and did a live demo of building that, which was really cool to see. And then finally showed how to install the apps that he currently has in the store in the Edge channel on an existing Ubuntu install. So that's the real quick summary. I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what you might have missed, and encourage you to go back and rewatch them. All of the videos for the past 2 days have been recorded. They're all available to rewatch on the same pages that they were broadcast on live. So you can go back to summit.ubuntu.com, find any of these sessions, go to that page, and the embedded video in there will be the recording for that session. You can go back and watch it. If you find a session that you like, please share it around social media, let your friends know about it, put it on Slashdot or Reddit or wherever. You know, if it's an important topic you want to get some more people's attention on, please do that. Also, please, if you watched any of these sessions, register on summit.ubuntu.com for UOS 1611. We've only had about 200 people register as attending, but I know that a lot more than that were actually watching these sessions. Please sign up, mark yourself as attending. I'm going to send out a survey after this to get feedback from everybody so that we know what worked and what didn't this time around and how we can improve things going forward. And if I don't have you registered as attending, then you're not going to get the survey and I don't get your feedback. and that's not good for me. So please sign up so I can hear from you. And that is it for UOS. We have UbuCon Europe coming up this weekend. The entire community team is going to be there, myself, Daniel Holbach, and Alan Pope, as well as a large number of people from the community. If you're going to be there, I look forward to seeing you. If not, we will all be back to work next week, so you will see us all then. If you have any more questions or you want to keep being involved in Ubuntu development or the community, please join the rest of our IRC channels. We are on #Ubuntu, #Ubuntu-devel, #Snappy for anything Snap related, and of course #Ubuntu-community team to find us and other people who are active leaders in the Ubuntu community. All right, I hope you all have enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Bye.